In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you every single supply that I use to run my Amazon FBA and eBay reselling business from home, and it's coming up right now. What's up guys, Christos here and welcome back for another video. Now, if it is your first time here, my name is Christos, like I just mentioned, and I run an online reselling business, mainly on Amazon FBA, but I'm now starting to dabble with eBay too. And I thought I would make a video just to talk about every single supply that I use from inside my reselling unit to run those businesses on a day-to-day basis. And what I'm going to be doing is sharing every single product that I use. Now, some of them are going to be absolutely essential to running a successful reselling business, and some of them are just going to be little added extras that just make the experience a little bit nicer. What I can promise you though guys is that every single product that I mention in this video will be linked in the description below. Okay, so let's start off with the supply that I probably use the most with my Amazon FBA business, and that is, you've guessed it, boxes. And basically what I do is use 3 different box sizes when it comes to shipping products into Amazon FBA. I have my large box, my medium box and my small box. Basically my small box will be when I'm sending in really heavy items such as like health and beauty, liquids. They really just kind of add the weight up really quickly, so you can't really fit too many of them in a big box without going over the weight limit. And then with the medium and the larger boxes, that's where I'll probably put a lot more toys, maybe some clothes in there, and stuff like that. So I use 3 different sizes and it really works for me. Some people just put them all in one box and then go over the weight limit and pay that extra. Me personally, I like kind of sticking to the different limits, so I've got a nice selection there. And when it comes to eBay, I don't actually buy any boxes simply because I'm doing so many online arbitrage orders. A lot of the products that I'm ordering are already coming in boxes, and because I'm not doing that much on eBay, I haven't had to go ahead and order extra boxes. So basically, I'm getting boxes like this where I'm just bringing them in and just saving them, recycling them. It's better for the planet as well, I guess, and it just works for me. So I haven't got a place where you can get eBay boxes from, but the place that I get all my Amazon boxes from, they do have smaller boxes, but my best tips is obviously just to try and recycle as much as possible. Right, so now we've got our boxes all sorted, we're going to need something to stick them together and package them up, and that is where tape comes into play, and you're going to need lots of it, trust me. Now, what I actually do with my business is I actually have a 20 limit. So what I mean by that is when my tape gets down to 20 rolls left, that's when I need to know I need to order some more, just so I never leave myself short. Because when I first started reselling, that used to happen a lot, and then I used to have to go out to the local supermarket where the tape is just so overpriced, and it's just not a really good practice. So make sure you've got lots of tape. But yeah, there's not really much to say about it apart from get a good quality one that doesn't kind of fall off the box and that has a really good stick to it. I get all of my bulk orders of tape from Kite Packaging. Like I said, all the links will be in the description below, but sometimes if I am desperate, I will do an Amazon Prime order. I'll leave both links in there just for you guys to make that choice. And then there's just one more other thing that I do like to do. Not everyone does it. I don't think it is essential really, and that is using fragile tape. Now, what I basically do is every single parcel that I send, whether it's a Amazon box or just smaller eBay orders, I like to just put 1 layer of fragile tape on that box. Does it make any difference? I'm not sure. If that Royal Mail driver or that My Hermes driver is in that mood, he is going to be lobbing it in the back of that truck no matter what. But if you put that fragile tape on, it has at least a chance of being noticed and handled a little bit better. So something I recommend. I don't think it's essential though. Okay, so when it comes to shipping products into Amazon and eBay, there are many different ways that you can package your products. Now, if you're on Amazon and you're doing multi-packs or bundles, most of the time they will need to go in what is called a poly bag. With eBay, there are some items that you will be able to ship using a mailer bag, such as things like clothes and things that potentially doesn't get damaged as easily. So let's start off with Amazon FBA and let's look at the poly bags. So basically what I do is I have 3 different sizes. Once again, I have a small, medium, and then at the top I have a large, and I'll just show you what they look like. So this is a small one, and basically what you need to have is the suffocation warnings on there. They're quite small on these poly bags, which I prefer anyway, but it must have those in. It's a requirement by Amazon, not so much by eBay, but you must have those. Just to show you a different size as well, You've got the medium ones here. Like I said, I'll throw all the different sizes of the poly bags that I use up on the screen. And then we've got some larger ones in there. I won't get those out. Moving on to the mailer bags that I use for my eBay products, I basically use two sizes for these. And there's these grey little ones here that can fit things like maybe small toys in, or maybe let's say a beanie, a scarf or something like that. And then we've got the really big ones here that can fit much bigger products, or maybe I've got something that I want to heavily bubble wrap and then put this over the top just so it looks a bit more professional. But these are really good, really cheap. Once again, link in the description of where I get these from. But yeah, these poly bags are really good, really cheap as well, and they just do the job. I've had no issues. As long as you prep the products, let's say you're sending in a toy, make sure it's heavily bubble wrapped as well. Don't just send it in the plain poly bag, because obviously the box is destined for damage. If you're sensible with it, you will have no issues with using poly bags like this to ship products. Just while I am stuck on the floor here, I might as well mention something else that I use, and that is this brown packaging tape. Basically what I use this is for multiple things. Number one is wrapping eBay orders. If I want to once again make it look a little bit more professional, and I want to make it look neat. And then the other thing that I use it for is actually, you can't see it, but ripping a load off, scrunching it up, sorry about the sound, and throwing it in the void areas of my Amazon boxes as well. So it saves a lot of space, stops the products from knocking around and potentially damaging each other. Really good, not that expensive. Once again, not an essential, because you can probably recycle a lot of the packaging tape you get from your orders, but for me it just makes life a lot easier. Okay, so next up is pretty much something that most people have anyway, but I just call these just the bare essentials. Number one is a Stanley knife. Obviously what I use this for is for opening parcels. I don't like to do it with a scissor or my hand, simply because you could damage the products that are inside. Moving up onto this wall is a really great tool here. This is called a Scotty Peeler. All my friends for some reason take the mick out of this. I don't know why, but it's a really small tool. But what I use this for is getting the stickers off different products. So obviously when you're doing Amazon and you're doing retail and online arbitrage, sometimes those products come to you with the price label on, and you don't want to be sending that to the customer, especially if you're selling it to them for double the price. It may not go down too well, and basically this really helps you getting those stickers off without damaging your nails. One thing I also use as well, which I actually have on order because I've run out, is a product called Goo Gun. Basically when you take that sticker off the product, sometimes it leaves a little bit of a residue on that product, and all you need to do is one little splash on a cloth or microfiber cloth or something like that, let it dry off a little bit and then rub it off, and all the stickiness will be gone. So really good to use that. Really recommend Goo Gun. Okay, final thing that's put on my little wall here is, it's not an essential, but it's something that will save you a lot of time, and that is a tape gun. So when you're using a lot of tape like I was talking about, sometimes it can get quite frustrating having to peel it off, cut it with scissors, and do all that over and over again. Tape gun, bit of tape on there along the box, rip it off on there, and you're done. Doesn't look like much, but it does save you a lot of time and a lot of peeling, not finding the exact bit where the tape is. Trust me, it works. One thing I almost forgot, which is absolutely massive in terms of importance and size, is this, and that is bubble wrap. And this is really just used for everything. It's used for, one, filling out void spaces in Amazon boxes. Number two, it is actually a prep requirement for some products on Amazon, such as like mugs, glassware, and some really fragile products. And then with eBay, obviously it comes without saying, you use bubble wrap for almost everything just to protect your item. So bubble wrap, really, really important part to my reselling business. Okay, so the things that I've spoken about basically gets you to the point where you can prep your products, throw the products in a box, maybe not throw them actually, place the products in a box, and you're ready to ship them. But there is a couple of more things that you definitely do need to actually get that shipment away. And that is, number one, you're going to need labels, and then obviously to be able to print those labels, you're going to need a printer. So let's start off with the labels first, and it's very simple what I use. I use these 27 up labels. They're called from Labels for You. You can get them on Amazon and various other other shipping suppliers and stuff like that. Really good, really high quality. The stick on them to the products is really good. It doesn't leave any kind of marks when you take them off as well. And this is just my recommended labels that I use. Now when it comes to printers, this can be quite subjective because it really depends on what your goals are and stuff like that, and how quickly you want to get started, what your budget is as well. But I'm just going to tell you now that for the last 3 years I used the absolute most basic printer there is. Let me just grab it. So this is a HP 4527 inkjet printer. So it's not a laser, it's just a simple inkjet printer, and this cost me like £30 I believe at the time. I've used it for 3 years. I've sent thousands of products, printed thousands of labels off with this printer, and it's been absolutely fine. However, in the last couple of months I have been lucky enough to have a great friend who has kindly lended me his label printer, his laser printer, sorry. And this thing has kind of made a whole world of difference, guys. The quickness that it prints labels out. Another thing that people like to talk about on Amazon as well is that they don't actually recommend using inkjet printers because the ink could potentially smudge. Obviously with a laser printer you don't have to worry about that. So I highly recommend going for a laser printer if you do have the budget. Another thing as well with a laser printer, it'll probably save you money in the long run because laser printers use toners, and basically toners will last you a lot longer in ink, whereas with that one there that I was talking about, the HP one, sorry, I was spending a lot of time going out and getting new ink cartridges simply due to the amount of printing that I was doing. So let's say if you were doing just eBay and you were printing out not as many labels, maybe something like that is good enough for you. But if you're doing Amazon and you're printing out thousands of labels every single year, then I highly recommend going for something a little bit more expensive up front, but over time it's definitely going to save you money. Now you're probably sitting there thinking, do I actually need a computer now that I've got a printer and stuff like that? Now the answer is very simple. With Amazon FBA you definitely do need a computer. With eBay you can run the whole business off your phone, however I don't think it's that practical, so I wouldn't recommend it. So I would say you do need a laptop or a PC for both business models, and basically you can see an iMac behind me here. 100% you do not need an iMac to run a reselling business. I would highly recommend not getting that if reselling online is your only priority with that computer. Obviously with me I'm doing YouTube and I'm doing other things, so I have to invest in equipment like that, but any kind of laptop is going to be absolutely fine. Maybe not one that's like 50 or 100 quid, maybe like a £250 laptop. What I will do, as I am a bit of a tech geek, leave a recommended laptop for you guys in the description below, but I basically use an iMac. Don't go and get that if reselling is your only priority. Now when it comes to weighing your products, it's very controversial once again. Now a lot of people say they need kind of professional scales and stuff. I'm telling you now, as a seller over the last 3 years, I have actually gotten away with just using standard weighing scales. These are quite good ones. They're like smart scales, digital and stuff like that. However, they're not as accurate as they should be, especially if you're doing eBay and you're weighing really light packages. You can't really use something like this. But if you were very eagle-eyed in this video, you will notice that I have recently, not even out of the box yet, just invested into a new scale. Now this one is extremely accurate, and I can weigh packages under 1 kilogram, so a lot of my eBay sales, and like I mentioned, I am only just getting into eBay, which is why I've now made this investment. But with Amazon sellers, some people may shout at me for saying this, but I have personally gotten away with using just normal scales over the past 3 years. Do I recommend it? Yeah, I probably would. So if you don't want to go full out on something like this, these are about £40 I believe, maybe a little bit cheaper. Just go for some standard scales. Okay, so everything I've just mentioned there are all the essentials that you need to be running either an Amazon FBA business or an eBay business. What I'm going to do now is quickly fire through a couple of the nice to haves that make the experience of reselling a lot quicker. First off, barcode scanner. Next up, storage tubs to hold your inventory in. An eBay light box to make your products stand out from the rest. Professional graded racking to store all of your inventory. A lawnmower. No, I'm just joking. And finally, a high quality pair of scissors. It really does make the difference if you want to pay that extra little bit of money. But apart from that, guys, that is all of the equipment that I use to run my Amazon FBA and eBay reselling business from home. Hopefully I've mentioned everything in this video. If there's something you believe that I have missed out, let me know in the comments down below. Nobody's perfect. I may have missed something out. All of the supplies that I have mentioned in this video will be linked down in the description below. But apart from that, guys, like the video if you found it valuable, and I shall see you in the next one. Take care.